An attack. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro issues a warning to the United States that an attack against him could be, quote, the beginning of the end of the American empire. Maduro made his remarks without offering further details on exactly what he meant, but it comes after the U.S. raised the reward to $50 million for information leading to his capture.
All right, Shalom. I'd like to start out with saying, Call Halayim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Harikak Wadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and double honors to our elder apostle, well down here in the lines and camp, a Harawan by Yasha. Salutation to the icon that are pushing the truth, sincerity, and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. I'm Khanak and Am by Yasha from the lines in the Yasha camp. This is another Lions Den news and prophecies. It's not really prophetic, but there's a reason why I'm going into it. Lord willing, blessing to edify to serve this purpose for the hopeful elect, the ones who truly believe in the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. Real quick. uh 1 second. You don't want to act funny. Is all right. So now you got this guy Nicolas Maduro, that's the president of um Venezuela, and there's a president crisis that the United States got into the middle of, and he's been president since 2013. And I want to, is he the one? Okay, it was Maduro and Guaido. I think Maduro is the people's choice, right? And I think Guaido is who the United States um is trying to put there back when that crisis first started. All right. All right, so Venezuela is engulfed in a political and economic crisis, which has led to more than 7 million people leaving the country since 2015. The process and results of 2018 presidential election were widely disputed. The opposition majority National Assembly declared Maduro as usurper of the presidency on the day of his second inauguration, and disclosed a plan to set forth the president Guaido as a succeeding acting president of the country under Article 233, the Venezuelan Constitution. A week later, the Supreme Tribunal of Justice declared that the presidency of National Assembly was the usurper of authority and declared the body to be unconstitutional. Minutes after Maduro took the oath as president, the Organization of American States approved a resolution in a special session of the Permanent Council declaring Maduro's presidency illegitimate. Yeah, see, that's Maduro was the guy that they didn't want in there. The Guaido is the one, Juan Guaido, whatever his name is the one the United States were trying to put in there. See that? But the people wanted Maduro. Maduro's not going according to the agenda that y'all that the United States are pushing. All right. So now what they're trying to do is end Maduro's presidency. I don't know if they want to put a Guaido back in there or just find somebody else. But these are the type of things that the United States does. They they you know, for the sake of pushing their own agenda, They go to certain countries and do regime changes. See that? And put a puppet ruler in there. That's what they've been trying to do. That's why they're trying to get this guy captured. But he said, and I quote, "Play with me if you want to, because it might be the beginning of the end of your empire." Now, how? Now you know, people don't respond and send messages to the United States like that. At least they didn't in the past. But you're seeing a lot more and more and more of this ever since um the pops of Kim Jong Un his like said when George Bush was president, said, "Come holler at me. I got weapons of mass destruction. Leading people along. Come fuck with me." Like years later, you're seeing a trend of people standing up to the United States, man. All right, this is all prophetic. Let the weak say that I'm strong. All right, let's get it. News and prophecy. Second Edge 15:1 it says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." Man, the words of Yahweh Shimon Shah are faithful and true. And his word shall not return unto him void. See that? So, by these other nations not taking America's crap anymore, standing up for themselves, is according to the word of Yahweh Shimon Shah. So we're literally watching America about to be totally destroyed, annihilated, man. And it's all being done by the power of Yahweh Bashim al Shah, according to his word that he prophesied, that he put into his men to prophesy. That's why I said, "Speak thou to in the ears of my people the words of prophecy." See that? And cause them to be written on paper because they are faithful and true. So let's give Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4. It says, "Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased?" Right. That's what you know what I'm saying? We're explaining to everybody through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai how Babylon's gonna fall. That golden city is talking about is America, man. It says it says verse 5. It says how verse 4 again, it says, "Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased?" We're telling you what's about to happen. And then afterwards, it's going to be like, yo, wow. It says, verse 5, it says, "The Lord have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers." Right. And the staff is talking about is America. And who was swinging that staff? Europe. Or verse 16, it says, "He who smote the people with wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth." Right. See that who ain't nobody gonna spare this place. Ain't nobody gonna spare this place. Ain't nobody gonna be worried about what's happening to this. Everybody gonna get their little kick in. You know, ain't nobody gonna help defend America. Ain't nobody gonna think twice about America. I mean, you're gonna have the people that made money off America, kind of, you know what I'm saying, get a little shaky. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, all else is gonna be. It's not just gonna be America that's getting destroyed, but the sacrifice, the altar call is right here in America. That's where most of the plagues are gonna come on the earth that the Lord sends down. All right, so verse 7 says, "The whole earth is at rest and is quiet, breaking into singing." All right. "Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us." And that's what these other nations are going to be saying. It says, "Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming." See that? "It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. They had raised up from their thrones the kings of the nations." And you're seeing these kings of the nations rising up against Babylon, man. Not taking America's bullcrap. not bowing down to the bullying nature that America has. See that? Verse 10, it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? See that? Thou become like unto us. See that? See, America's on his high horse, but the Lord gonna bring him down. Verse 11 it says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worms are spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Right, and this is just gonna be decaying. That's what worms do. They devour. They you know what I'm saying? They eat dead things. Verse 12 says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations, man? You know, that's America. That's Esau through America. So that's exactly what did you see it happen? These other nations sitting up, standing up, looking at the weakness of America and matching it to their strength. See that? So the Lord got to sacrifice in Badra, and we're witnessing this happen. This dude said, you never hear people talk like that against, you know what I'm saying, the United States, but you're hearing it now, man. All right. Just wanted to touch on that a little bit. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and serve its purpose for the hopeful elect, the ones that truly believe in the name.